Musicians and singers, I don't know who need to hear this, but you can't take the mics, the gear, the resume, the tour badges, the experience, the accolades with you when you die. So why are y'all more concerned about that and the applause of your peers than getting yourself together health-wise? I am tired of seeing so many musicians and singers on medication dying prematurely because y'all care more about being in your top 5 than your actual health. Come on, y'all. It's time to get up. It's time to get up. If you're over the age of 18, stop being lazy. Get up. Stop making excuses. Yes, we're in the studio all night. Means nothing. There's a price that's going to be paid. Your funeral, the medication, or your body.
Yo, shout out to Kaybass for this video. This is something that is near and dear to me when it comes to musicians' health. A few years ago, I had a health scare myself. I woke up in the middle of the night and almost passed out in my bathroom. Um, Come to find out, you know what I mean? Like I kind of balanced myself out. I thought I was literally dying. I mean, I was like sweating and chills was going through my body and I was hot and cold at the same time. It was wild. And it almost felt like I don't know if I was having a seizure. I don't know what was happening. But come to find out, I got up the next day, went to, after that spell passed, went to the doctor. And they're like, yo, Mr. Williams, your sugar is like over 300. You got over 1,000 milligrams of sugar in your urine. You're literally peeing sugar, is what the doctor told me. Your urine is just pure concentrated sugar. That's what your urine is. Come to find out, as I kept digging in with that, follow-up visits and all of that stuff like that, my A1C was like 13 or something like that. And it was crazy. So I was, they said I was type 2 diabetic, which is that runs in my family, father, mother, all of those things like that. I wasn't really paying attention to my health like that. I was, like K-Bay said, was grinding it out, trying to just go after it, get after it musically and all of those stuff like that. And wasn't really like taking care of my health, the food that I was eating, the age that I was getting, all of those things was like being pushed to the side. And so I got that diagnosis and the doctors wanted to put me on medication. You know what I'm saying? Like instantly. Nothing. It's just, hey, you're type 2 diabetic. Here's some medication. Like they didn't give me any kind of plan to like keep my sugar under control or none of that. They just say, here's medication. That's what the medical field will do. And that's one of the reasons why I was there. So I told him, I said, well, I don't want to take this medication. I want to try a holistic health approach or what have you. Eating got myself into it. I'll eat myself out of it. So I began to start. Like researching, doing heavy research. I started like changing my diet. I did the keto diet for about 6 months. Lost about 70 pounds or so. 60, somewhere between 60 and 70 pounds, somewhere in that nature. I dropped completely down or what have you. And got my A1C, all of that stuff back down to like 5.4, which is normal. You know what I mean? So literally within a 3 to 4 month period of just doing intermittent fasting and you know what I'm saying, low carb, keto, you know what I mean, staying away from those type things. I started walking, you know what I'm saying? I started doing all of those things, not running, not doing like a whole lot of heavy like exercise. I know K-Bass is like, you know what I mean? He's like the Hulk. I didn't start doing, I didn't start lifting and doing all that. I just simply started a walking regimen. I started walking, started doing 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and 20 minutes, 30 minutes as my endurance got up. Eventually I was to the point where I can walk 3 miles in a day. And so I started that routine and I've kept that routine fairly consistent over the last few years of my life. And with that case, my diabetes, my type 2, is what the doctors would call in remission. Me, I just say that this is what I've learned how to relegate my metabolism, my metabolic system. And so, said all that to say, as musicians, there's too many of us that are dying prematurely, that are on medication, that are suffering. I mean, talking about I know some of the greatest of the greatest, the best of the best, some of your favorite musicians, favorite, producers, favorite all of this that have struggled health wise, behind the scenes. Like, you know what I mean? And you probably know a few of them in your brain as I'm talking about it. And, it doesn't make any sense for you, as K-Bass eloquently put it more than I am. There's no reason for you to be so great on your instrument and be so bad at your health. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't need any more tragic stories. I'm tired of the tragic stories. I'm tired of hearing about this musician, this producer, this person passed away early, 40 this, 40 that, 50 this, 50 that, too young. You know what I mean? Because you didn't take care of yourself. You know what I mean? And like he said, like something has been instilled in us this whole grind life that you got to be up at like 4 o'clock in the morning, like creating beats and making tracks and doing all of this stuff like that and recording and doing all of that makes you feel like you're alive, and you're really killing yourself. Like, sleep is important. You need there's a reason why they say you need about 6 to 8 hours of sleep a day. You need about 8 glasses of water in your system. You know what I mean? You don't need to be eating ultra, even any kind of processed food, not even just ultra processed, just any kind of processed food, fast food, sweets, all of those things like that. And we're prone to that because that feeds a part of our brain and our energy. And we built our whole brain off of glucose and how we, you know what I mean, like how we do. So the more energy you need, the more glucose you generate in your body by eating all of the junk food. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was in a session with a producer a while back, and we were up late that night or what have you, working on something. And this dude, like, he sends his homeboy to the store to go get something, for him, or get some. He's like, I'm a little hungry, what I'm saying? So I'm gonna text you a list of what I need or whatever. Text him the list. The guy comes back, and he has like bags of like literal like Kool-Aid and like honey buns. I'm talking like the worst of the worst. And this person that I knew was already in a bad health space. And I'm thinking like, bro, like, and you tell me you had diabetes and you about to smash a honey bun at 3 o'clock in the morning? Yikes. That's wild work. Because what happens is your body calories accumulate different parts of the day. That is a proven medical fact. So after 10, after 9, it's a certain time, cutoff time, where those carbs they just sit there. And then what happens is they become sugar, they metabolize into sugar, and then they eventually metabolize into fat. So if you're gaining weight, you can't lose weight, all of those things like that, you're suffering in your metabolism, is probably because your lifestyle is not indicative of that. You need to go to sleep. You know what I mean? You need to be in bed before this. You need to start. You need to cut away from the carbs. You need to try ketogenic diet or something to that nature. You need to go to a doctor and discuss all those things. Well, I'm not a medical professional, but I can't tell you what works in my life, because I went from, in within a month of just changing my habits, my sugar went from 300 to like 120. And now I wake up in mornings and it's 90, 95, 100. If I just had a cookie the night before or something like that. I've learned to take my health serious, because health is wealth, boys and girls. Health is wealth. I don't want to be like, I don't want to like grow my businesses, grow my career, make all of this money, do all of these things, and then die prematurely of a health situation. You know what I'm saying? Or or even be so sick to where the money that I'm making, I'm making all this great money, but I'm spending all of this money just to stay alive. You know what I mean? Like, all of the wealth and all of the money that's accumulated is going out the door. You know what I mean? And I know so many people that fall into that gap, and then they have to have a GoFundMe to bury them because they didn't take care of themselves. They didn't take care of their finances. That's a whole nother conversation. Finances, building your wealth, taking care of your money. You know what I'm saying? Doing all of those things that you need to do, getting life insurance, health insurance. You know what I'm saying? These are things that we need to talk about more in our community. You know what I'm saying? That we just don't talk about. We're all about the boom, the bow, the who's dope, who's a fire emojis, all of those things like that. But we do not talk about the things that actually matter. You know what I'm saying? We just don't do that. And I want to have more conversations about this, more stuff to where we really talk about the health, you know what I'm saying, the wealth that we have and all of those things like that. But that's what I got about it. Let me know what you guys think about it. I'll talk to you guys on the next. Yo, what up, guys? It's your boy, John Mike. If you've been rocking with my content and you want to go beyond what YouTube allows, what social media allows, that's exactly why I created my Patreon. Over there, I break down the real side of music tech, business, how this industry actually works, the creative side. I'm talking exclusive podcasts with your favorite creators. And there's 3 ways that you can join. There's a support tier that starts at just $5 a month. That's for people who just want to support my work and get early access to the content that I create. The Creator Plus tier goes deeper into the tools, the workflows, the plugins, everything that I use to create and scale out my content. And then there's the Business Plus tier. This is where we talk strategy, monetization, ownership, all of the things that I do to make money, how I scaled a 7-figure company, how you can do it too, asking questions, all of the crazy things that you want to know about how to build a sustainable, real career in music. So if you're really ready to take this to the next level and grow your creative business this year, then please join me over there at Patreon. The link is down below. I'll talk to you guys over there. Let's get it.